Alrighty, fam. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Pro Antagonist channel. We got Spring 2022 new anime. We're going to do 13 of them in this video, 13 in the next one, because there's a lot to get to. I've got new parameters for how I'm doing these. So this is the beginning of the season. This is only my reactions to episodes 1/2, depending on what's actually out. And also, I'm going to have a limiting system at some point. I have to pare these down to, like, I don't know, 15, maybe less different titles and selections. I've got 26 I'm going to watch this season. It's kind of crazy when you really think about it. I guess we should jump right into it, and we're going to start off with one of the ones that, honestly, I think is pretty interesting, Rokudo's Bad Girls. This one was an anime where I didn't really expect to be as kind of impressed by a basic storyline as I am, but this kid, he gets the ability to make all of the bad girls in school fall in love with them, or just have just kind of general feelings that they can't work out. They don't really attack him, which is interesting because this guy is really bullied and all that stuff. This ends up becoming an anime about, like, being the very best you can be, it feels like, from just the first couple episodes. I think it's really great. I'm putting an A tier. I would really recommend anyone who likes, like, the rom-com type stuff. Likes watching a crazy blonde woman kick ass. Those are good aspects to this. Next up, we got Too Cute Crisis. I'm gonna throw this one in a B tier because it's kind of interesting. The idea behind this is that there's an alien girl who's sent with a mission to go and catalog all the different species on Earth, and she encounters cats, and in this cat cafe, actually, cat cafe in Japan, and she's overwhelmed by the cuteness, and it ends up becoming a comedy about how aliens would react to adorable animals. It's not bad. I'm not going to drop it immediately. I think it's the kind of anime that could really grow on you and is kind of a cool weekly watch. Maybe just kind of an interesting sort of take on society and an odd perspective, right? An odd perspective that we wouldn't have on the animals. Really, I'm not sure. B or C tier. I could kind of go either way on this. I think I'll leave it in C tier for the time being. Next up, we're going to do Jigagaraku or Hell's Paradise. This thing is definitely an S tier. I've seen one episode, and it blew me away. I did not know, like, for whoever hasn't seen this yet, Hell's Paradise, it's the kind of anime that tries to subvert your expectations very quickly and very early on. I've only seen one episode. It was enough. It was enough for me to be like, yes, this is definitely a good anime. I don't know that it's going to be like S tier forever. Hell's Paradise, very good. Would recommend people at least try. 10 out of 10. And next one we got Yuri Is My Job. This one was interesting. I'm sort of borderline on this one, and maybe I'll actually move Cat one up here. This one was interesting because right now she's just, like, been sort of duped into working for a kind of like schoolgirl, like, role-playing cafe, and it's kind of all women. And so Yuri's My Job, it's supposed to be like give you the Leslie vibes and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't super impressed by it. I think it, like, in the first couple episodes, it's kind of like I don't know where the stories are really going. I'm not sure that I like the characters all that much. It's kind of like weirdly melodramatic. Maybe if you're really into Yuri, but honestly, I'm sort of debating whether or not this one just gets dropped off the bat because it wasn't something that really impressed me in any particular way, shape, or form. Getting back into the swing of things, I have realized something very, very, very important. And there's an anime called Otaku Elf, and I don't believe it's in any of these images. And this is part of the fun of finding a list somebody else made. I don't think it's here. I don't see it. So I'm just gonna have to say Otaku Elf. We're gonna do this. Throw that in here. Otaku Elf goes here. I've never had to do this on any of these videos. Otaku Elf, it's kind of an anime where you have this one elf goddess who is like hundreds of years old. She lives in a shrine. So this is kind of going on like Shintoism type stuff. And she apparently knew Tokugawa Ieyasu, and like, but way, way back in the day, hundreds of years ago. And so he put her as the shrine deity, and people give her, like, sacrifices in the forms of like snacks and cool things and like VR headsets and crazy crap that otakus might like. And so she ends up like just kind of going and living an otaku life. Yeah, not really doing anything with herself, but just kind of funny. She has an attendant, and that it's mainly the sort of dialogue between her and the attendant lady. All the hijinks. It's like a sitcom, but in anime form. It's not like amazing, but it's not bad. I definitely will keep watching it. And oh boy, we've got My One Hit Kill Sister. This one is just kind of goofy for goofy's sake. This is a really odd sort of like anime where it plays around with the idea of, you know, brother-sister relationship, but like the sister loves the brother too much. This guy gets isekai'd into a world, but then his sister gets also isekai'd to follow him in. This guy got hit by like a truck or something. He's in a coma. His sister's like, nah, fam, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to help him out. And she goes and starts fighting things and being like the excellent big sister, but also really, really loves her brother like way more than she should. This is one of those generic fantasy isekai anime that honestly, the catch is kind of funny. Nah, this one's great. It's my sister who is way too sisterly, but not like goes beyond the sisterly, and it's kind of creepy and weird. But I think it's funny. I'll keep watching that. Would probably recommend this to anyone who likes, you know, that kind of isekai stuff. I know who you are. You know who you are. We all know that you like this stuff. Next up, we got the Cafe Terrace and its Goddesses. This one is an odd sort of ecchi anime that's not like great because it's sort of a quintessential quintuplets, but like the bargain bin version. But it's really not as good as the quints. And this one, you have a bunch of college girls who like were working for this guy's grandmother's cafe, and she died. And this guy comes back, and he's very like stuck up and sort of odd, but you know, the girls are all like, well, she let us live here and work here, and she was really nice to us, and he's like, I don't really care. Sort of an odd ecchi comedy, but not like the kind that, you know, really, really is good, like the really good ecchi stuff. It's sort of just like soft, like, you know, the general minor ecchi stuff, but it's got a wholesome story, I think, behind it. From a couple episodes, I feel like maybe I could swap spots here. I don't know. It's not like all that tremendous or anything. I would keep watching it just to see, but this is not one of the ones that kind of makes me confident in quality per se. That, however, is not the sentiment I have with this next anime, which is absolute fire. The legendary hero is dead. This is fucking hilarious. This and pardon my language, YouTube, but it's not in the first 30 seconds, so I think I'm good. Hilarious anime. It's got this weird tropey thing that just kind of subverts everything. Guy is normal villager. He's not really all that special or anything, but he's just kind of smarmy. Legendary hero, this guy's friend, she's all like crushing on. It's like, oh my god, he's a great... No, 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 no. He ends up coming to the village, and he dies in this guy's random like house protection pitfall trap. And legendary hero, dead. In this fantasy anime setting, he's supposed to like defeat the demon lord and save the entire world or whatever. Nah, he's dead. He got trashed by this one guy's like trap, like spike trap pitfall, you know, completely dead. Also, this guy who, like, very, very non-intentionally may have led to the legendary hero's demise. He gets chosen by the legendary hero's like necromancer party member to become the legendary hero. So she revives the legendary hero, puts this village guy's like body in a casket, like a magical casket that preserves the body, puts him in the legendary hero's body because she thinks he's amazing. He killed the legendary hero, and he's rotting as a corpse whilst in the body because he doesn't have the necessary mana to even keep that thing up. That anime, that whole dynamic and everything, it's hilarious. I would watch this definitely 100%. One of the best anime of the season, honestly. Between the bad high school girls, between the legendary heroes dead, and between Hell's Paradise, that could just be a staple. staple trio, and then like watching some sequels, and I'd be perfectly happy with my life. Honestly, I feel like when I do these, it's to look for great anime that I wouldn't have otherwise thought of. There's some good anime. I mean, obviously Hell's Paradise is popular, but some good anime here. All right, another couple decent ones. We got Serving the Aristocrats, Aristocrat Otherworldly Adventure, Serving God Chosen, whatever, Nod Odd World Isekai type thing. This guy gets like reincarnated as a young child, like a baby. Well, not quite a baby, kind of a toddler, and he ends up like really good at magic and stuff. And it's kind of like very generic and basic in a way because it's been done. Not like it would have been interesting 5 years ago, but you know we have the Bookworm anime with the girl. We have all these different other anime that are all pretty good. You know, it's not all that special. I'd put it in C tier, not super original, kind of interesting could be. I think the beginning's kind of interesting though, where the guy is like, he's at a convenience store, and he sees this guy about to rob this girl, and he goes and attacks him, and he gets stabbed and dies in the process. And when he's reincarnated into the world, whoever's doing it is like, yeah, you didn't really need to do that. He would have tripped on his own knife. The police would have come. He would have been arrested. It wouldn't have been any big deal. But since you were so heroic, we're gonna give you a good life. It's just an isekai, but it's not like a bad isekai. It's sort of one of those like, ah yes, the high society with this amazing like Giga Chad magic user kid who can do all these things, and his tutors are really impressed, and all these other kind of stuff. It's not like amazing. I don't even know if I'd continue watching it all the way through. Honestly, probably not, but really it's not all that bad. I'd say it's relatively good. We got this one anime here. It's Working for God in a Godless World. And this one's kind of interesting because I don't know, I'm trying to think A or B. I'd say A tier. Given what we have so far, A tier. It's another one of those odd comedy ones where like the guy gets isekai. There's so many of these isekais that aren't like the most. There's a range here. You got isekai'd with my sister who's too into me. You got isekai'd into a world as a baby and living a proper noble mage life. You got isekai'd into a world with all this, that, and the other. And you got generic fantasy kind of stuff. Honestly, isekai is too much now. I just so much isekai, so much fantasy. There's not a whole lot of interesting stuff. This one takes it to a whole new level. This guy was isekai'd because he got sacrificed because his dad was like a cult leader. They sacrificed him as like a virgin or something. And he ends up actually in this world that doesn't understand what religion is. He ends up in the world, but the actual true god of the world. And this is an interesting premise, like a society that doesn't have religion at all. You would think naturally they would make one. You got isekai girl, or sorry, you got isekai guy. He goes in, he's about to like die, and all his friends are gonna die, and then goddess girl shows up. The goddess that his dad, the cult leader, was praying to, and so she's like, "You've been sacrificed. You've done so much for me. This is such a great opportunity for me to help you and everything." And she's kind of a weird little kid tyrant goddess, and I'm sure it'll become kind of like iffy and whatever. Though the first episode was really insane because all the crazy characters and all the wacky stuff. It's not like a masterpiece of an anime. It's the kind of anime where you go in and you're looking to laugh because it's kind of weird and ridiculous. And so I'd put that one A tier. Honestly, not that bad. Now we've got an anime that honestly to me is like, this one's an anime that's been done before. This is one where the girl gets broken up with by her boyfriend. It's crappy, and she goes and she ends up being like, I don't know. I'm gonna move it to B tier here because it's not as bad. But she ends up meeting this guy in a video game, and she ends up meeting him even in real life at a convention, and it's kind of this guy who's like really like stoic, not really all that interested in her, not a bad guy at all. Helps her out a little. She ends up being kind of like just broken up with, girl distraught, and he's honestly a pretty good dude to her, but he's not like super interested in any way at this point in the story. It's kind of like it's the kind of anime where just like, I'm not, it's not like super well written. It's not like super funny. It's not super interesting. It's just kind of like this is an anime that I could see people watching because if you like rom-coms, then you're gonna watch it. Like I probably will watch the whole damn thing. Oh, even though maybe I shouldn't because maybe it's not all that good. It's a popular anime this season. It's one of the top performing ones thus far. It's not like all that special. Next we got an anime that's kind of this one's kind of nuts. And I'll keep it in the back here. I only watched one episode, but it was like watching a kid's animated movie. How long it was? I think it was almost an hour and a half for the first episode, and that's like sometimes your first episodes are just long. This one was definitely that way. This one was definitely very very long for the first episode, so I don't think I have to watch a second episode. It's like I watched 3. This guy, he likes idols because this one girl that he was taking care of. This guy's like, you got this guy. He's a doctor. His one patient, she was dying of cancer, but he's like a gynecologist, and so I'm wondering like, maybe I don't remember why, but like, was she dying of like cervical cancer or something like that? She was. This is a girl. She was on hospital care for a while. She's really into idols though, and this guy, he liked her. She was a nice patient. He felt really bad about her circumstances and how she died and everything. So it's like her favorite idol is gonna be his, like, he's gonna have a biggest fan moment just like in honor of this one girl that he was taking care of as a doctor. And he ends up getting that idol coming to him, looking to have babies, or well, she's not looking to have babies. She's pregnant and will have babies, twins specifically. And this guy, he helps her out. He's keeping it a secret because as an idol, you're not really supposed to get pregnant and do all this stuff. She has like a leave of absence. This guy, right before he's about to deliver the babies, super fan, a really creepy stalkery guy of the idol comes up and stabs him, so he's dead. But he gets reincarnated as one of her babies. What about that? How about that? And very interesting pro-life message. I know that's not popular, but it's Japan, so you can get away with base stuff in Japan. This anime was so highly rated, it sat atop Mal for a while. Like, this thing was high, like, it had a higher rating than Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's not super common, but yeah, that happened. Our last little anime here, which is part of why I'm loving this season so much, Mashle, Magic and Muscles. Honestly, you know what? Nah. Based on the first episode, I'm going to say number 1. This is the one that has me feeling the best right now. Mashle, I knew it was going to be popular because I know it had a following. It's in the style of One, like One Punch Man, Mob Psycho type stuff. It's really good. Like, very, very good. This guy, he's born in a world with all these magical people, except he didn't really have the ability to use magic. And he's an outcast, and so this man ends up taking him in because this man's also an outcast on the brink of suicide. And he takes him in. He's like his dad, and he trains him to be really cool and super strong. He's incredibly beefy. Like, he's muscular in a way. Like, it's weird because it's not Saitama, obviously, but it's like really muscular in a world where a lot of other people are like magic-y. So it's similar to One Punch Man in that way. If you like the kind of stuff like Mob Psycho and One Punch Man, you're probably really going to like Mashle. Mashle's just really good. I'd say that's the one that I'm like, yes, dead set. I'm going to watch this thing all the way. 100%, 10 out of 10. My favorite anime of the season so far, not sure yet, but the ones in A and S tier. I mean, there's 7 in B and C and 6 in A and S tier. That's how good you know this stuff is. Actually, I'm going to knock Yuri Cafe down because I'm pretty sure I'm dropping that one. Mashle was amazing. I think a lot of the anime this season are going to be amazing. I have another half of these to get to in the second part of this video, but boy, is this a season. I really feel confident. The only thing I'm not confident is I have to narrow this down to 15 based on my own rules. There's 26 that I'm watching this season. There's 13 and 13. I don't know how in the hell I'm going to do that because I've only narrowed down one. Anyway, part 2 coming next week.